Following our discussion on Plato and Xenocrates' engagement with Parmenides, let's now turn our attention to the man himself. Parmenides of Elea, a name that echoes through the halls of ancient philosophy, much like a persistent echo in the halls of his native city. We're talking about a thinker from around 500 BCE, hailing from Elea, a Greek colony in southern Italy. His big ideas, big ones. He wrestled with what truly is versus what merely appears to be. Think of it as the ultimate reality check. And how do we know all this? Well, mostly from fragments of his own epic poem, On Nature, which sounds less like a philosophical treatise and more like an ancient sci-fi adventure story, and from later accounts or testimonies penned by folks who came after him. So, we're piecing together a puzzle from scattered clues. Alright, let's get to the heart of the matter, Parmenides' core belief. It's famously summed up in his own words. What is? Sounds simple, right? Like stating the obvious. But hold on, there's a massive twist. For Parmenides, this what is isn't just any old thing, it's the thing. It's unique, singular, utterly unmoving, and never came into being. Imagine trying to describe it. He says it's like a perfect sphere, perfectly balanced at its center. No edges, no corners, just pure unchanging substance. What does this mean? It means change is impossible. If something is, it always was and always will be. Generation, destruction, movement, all illusions. This leads to a staggering conclusion. The world we experience, the world of sensory perception, is fundamentally wrong. It's a deceptive appearance, a kind of cosmic mirage. Think about that next time you see a sunset or feel the wind. For Parmenides, these are just shadows on the cave wall, not the real deal. So, if our everyday world is an illusion, where do we find truth? Parmenides gives us a map literally in his poem. He talks about two paths, two ways of inquiry. First, there's the way of truth, aletheia. This path is for the serious business of understanding what truly is. It demands rigorous reason, logic, and a willingness to ditch the unreliable messengers our senses. Then there's the way of opinion, doxa. This path deals with the world as it appears to us, the realm of change, multiplicity, and fleeting sensations. It's useful, maybe, for getting along in life, but it's not the path to genuine knowledge. Why the split? Because Parmenides, along with several other thinkers listed in Testimonium 79, was deeply skeptical of the senses. They can deceive us. Think about optical illusions, or how hunger makes you crave food even when full. Parmenides argues that relying on such fallible tools leads us astray. True knowledge, the kind that grasps reality itself, comes only through the power of reason. It's a bold claim, essentially saying your gut feelings and immediate perceptions might just be leading you down the garden path. Now Parmenides wasn't just a metaphysician lost in abstract thought. He also had his finger on the pulse of the physical world, or at least, how people thought about it back then. Look at Testimonium 74 and 99. Here, he's credited as the first to neatly divide the Earth into those 5 familiar zones. The 2 tropics marking the boundaries, the temperate zones in between, and the scorching torrid zone in the middle. Interestingly, Posidonius, a later geographer, chimes in suggesting Parmenides might have been a bit generous with the size of that hot middle zone. But still, a foundational idea. And how did we see things? Testimonium 82 links him to the emission theory of vision. Imagine tiny rays shooting out from your eyes like little probes, touching objects and bringing information back to your brain. It sounds a bit like ancient Wi-Fi, doesn't it? Some sources even tie this idea to Pythagoras and Empedocles, hinting at shared intellectual currents. Parmenides, it seems, was thinking about the structure of our world in pretty concrete terms. Okay, let's get down and dirty with biology. Parmenides ventured into the murky waters of generation and sex determination. Remember Empedocles, who linked male and female origins to heat and cold, placing males in the east and south? Parmenides flips the script. In Testimonium 83, he suggests the opposite. Males pop up in the north because of denser air, while females are found in the south due to rarer air. Talk about geographical determinism. It's like the weather dictates your gender. Then there's Testimonium 84, where he, along with Anaxagoras, posits that the side of the uterus from which the seed comes determines the child's resemblance to dad or mom. Get it wrong, and bam, you get a girl. And what about aging? Testimonium 86 offers a rather straightforward explanation. Old age is simply a lack of heat. Simple yet profound in its own way. These ideas show Parmenides applying his systematic thinking to the messy business of life itself. What about the soul? Was it just a ghost in the machine? Testimonium 76 calls it fiery, while Macrobius, Testimonium 92, offers a more materialistic take, made of earth and fire. Classic Eleatic elements and sleep, not just resting, apparently. Testimonius 89 and Tertullian, Testimonium 89, link it to a cooling process. Makes sense, right? Your body cools down, you drift off. But Parmenides' philosophy wasn't just about metaphysics, it had ethical teeth. Plutarch, Testimonium 115, argues that embracing Parmenides' view of a rational, ordered cosmos actually promotes virtue. Why? Because if there's an underlying order, then concepts like disgrace and honor gain real meaning. We should fear what's shameful, value justice, and trust in divine rulers guiding us. It's almost like a cosmic justification for morality. And get this, Plutarch, Testimonium 116, even claims Parmenides himself drafted the best laws for his hometown Elea, and citizens swore oaths to uphold them every year. Finally, think about Zeno of Elea, Parmenides' student. His legendary act of biting off his tongue to spit at a tyrant, as recounted by Plutarch, Testimonium 117, is seen as a perfect example of Parmenidean ethics in action, enduring pain for principle, valuing honor above comfort. Talk about living your philosophy. So, what's the lasting impact of this fiery thinker? Well, he didn't work in isolation. He directly mentored Zeno of Elea, who became another giant of pre-Socratic thought known for his paradoxes. And the connections to Pythagoreanism are strong. Many sources explicitly link him to that influential school, though the exact nature of his relationship remains debated. Interestingly, centuries later, Arcesilaus, a leader of the skeptical New Academy, apparently used Parmenides' ideas to bolster his own skeptical stance, accusing others of misrepresenting him. Parmenides' shadow looms large in the history of philosophy. Plato engages with him extensively in dialogues like the Sophist and Timaeus. Aristotle, the great systematizer, wrestles with his logic. Stoics, Epicureans, Neoplatonists like Numenius, and even early church fathers like Clement and Philo all grapple with his legacy. His radical insistence on a single unchanging reality and his skeptical turn towards reason over sensation continue to challenge and inspire thinkers to this day. He truly set the stage for much of Western philosophical inquiry. And so we reach the end of our journey through these testimonies. What have we seen? Parmenides emerges as a complex figure, a monistic realist who insisted on a single unchanging reality beneath the flux of appearances. He demanded epistemological rigor, pushing reason to the forefront of knowledge acquisition. His scope was vast, touching on cosmology, biology, ethics, and even the nature of the soul. He wasn't just an abstract theorist, he aimed to connect his metaphysics to a vision of a morally ordered world. His legacy is undeniably complex, a cornerstone upon which countless philosophical edifices were built, debated, and sometimes dismantled. A true giant whose ideas continue to echo.